Okay. Obviously disappointed, coming off of a loss. Very disappointed in that. Been 2 years since we've had a Tuesday press conference around here coming off of a loss, so don't want to make that a habit, that's for sure. But we are excited we get a chance to play again this week. That was one of the things I talked to the team about yesterday. Is last time we lost the game, we had to wait 9 months and stew on it. We actually get to play in just about 4 more days. So we're really excited about that opportunity to go play again and play better, and try to get back on track in what we want to accomplish. But it's going to be a tough game and a tough task going up to Wake Forest. They are a much improved team. Dave's done a great job up there. They've got some cats in there. Got some guys that are long and athletic. Really done a good job. He's played a lot of freshmen these first couple years that he's taken over the program, especially last year on offense. They were pretty much all freshmen, and they are much improved. They're 6-4. They're 4-1 at home, and if you really study them, they've battled everybody. They have battled everybody. You watch the Louisville game; it was 16-12, I guess, with about 5 minutes or so ago the game. They get a pick six, block punt, bam, bam, and it got away quick. But they have really, Florida State, same thing. These guys have done a nice job. And again, 4-1 at home, so we know it'll be a tough task. We're going to have to play well. Offensively, much improved from where they were last year. They played a lot of freshmen last year, and now those guys are sophomores, and they're just better. They're more experienced. Their quarterback is a really good football player. He's the leading scorer on the team, and he's also the second leading rusher. He runs the football very well. He's not just a good quarterback runner as far as, design quarterback runs. He's an excellent scrambler. That's where he's made some of his biggest runs, have come off some scramble plays. So you're going to have to be very disciplined with the pocket and how we get after him, because he is dangerous. And he's got a bunch of yards, and they've had some sacks, and he's still got almost 500 yards of rushing. So really good football player that I'm very impressed with. Their offensive line, they got everybody back, and they're better. Again, played a lot of freshmen in the offensive line last year. Now those guys are sophomores, and they have improved tremendously. They want to run the football. They're doing a lot better job throwing the ball this year. Got some good receivers out there, 15, 17, number 1. 15 is a guy that I think has a chance to be a really good player for them. And they've got a big old freshman running back, number 36. He's in there. 32 is also running the ball a lot. He's the and 22 as well. Those guys are kind of combined to have a good rushing attack. They're going to run the power. They're going to run all the zone stuff and the split flow zone and the orbits and Utahs that come with it, and all the run pass options as well. So, very impressed with them. And the thing that they've probably done the best is they've controlled the clock. In most every game that they've played, they've controlled the clock, and they've done a great job of taking care of the football, and giving themselves a chance. And they're very, very good on defense. Defensively, they're top 3, 2, 3, 4 in about every defensive statistic in this conference. And so very good group. Got 7 starters back, 32 sacks on the year. We've got 35. To put that into perspective, I think we lead the conference maybe. Do we lead the conference? We lead the conference with 35 sacks, and they're second or third with 32 sacks. So they get after you up front. That number 53 for them is a great football player. He's top 10 in the nation in sacks. Very good player. Again, as I said earlier, they've done a good job of getting some length and some athleticism, some speed, and some size in that defensive line. And they play a lot of guys. They got a lot of depth. If you watch them, they've played and created good depth all year long. Impressed with their secondary. Their safety number 3, he's got 5 interceptions. He's second in the league. But the biggest thing about what they've done defensively, if they have created, outside of the sacks, they've created a lot of turnovers. So they're +9 in the turnover margin, and that's somewhere in the top 10 in the nation. They easily lead this conference. And so the combination of what they've done defensively and how they've played offensively and controlling the clock and not turning it over has allowed them to be incredibly competitive with everybody they've played. So we're going to have to play well. We know that. We're looking forward to having another opportunity and see if we can, get back on track. Obviously, there's a lot on the line for us. We've got a chance to win this division, and the good news is we got a really good football team, and we're very capable of winning the game. But we're going to have to play well. Wake Forest they're 4-1 at home. They're going to fight with everything they got, and we know that. But for us, it's about having a great week, fixing some of the mistakes, learning from some of the mistakes that we made, and getting back on track this week.
Coach, do you expect Mitch Hyatt to start on Saturday?
Not ready to answer that right now. I mean, they're very optimistic. We hadn't practiced today, so we just had one night last night. I'll be a little better shape whenever I see y'all again this week. But he's looks good and very optimistic. That's what they tell me. So if he can play, he'll play. If not, he won't. We'll go on the next guy. But hopefully he'll be ready to go.
I know Pollard got a lot of playing time at Doe Campbell, and he and Ingram have played really well the last few games. Do you feel pretty confident in them going on the road as freshmen?
Yeah, I mean, again, this is what I was saying last night on the radio show. We win a game, but there's still a lot of bad. We always have stuff that we got to fix and correct and grow from, even when we win. You lose a game, well, everybody just thinks everything's terrible and you stink and you're awful. No, there's a lot of good. A lot of good. And let me tell you what some of that good was. Them 2 freshman tackles played lights out football for Clemson. 2 true freshman tackles. We threw the ball 70 times, had 1 sack. That number 5 for Pitt is a heck of a player. What was he? He was like top.
He was top 10.
He's top 10 in the nation in sacks coming in here. So we lost the game, and sometimes we that's all we focus on. But there was a lot of good. And those 2 guys did a fantastic job. Ingram didn't know he was going to start the game. I mean, the only reason he started the game is because Mitch showed up 30 seconds late to our special teams meeting. That's just our rule. That's our rule. And then he got in there and got stepped on the back of his heel there. And that old boy did a heck of a job, man. I mean, I'm so proud of those 2 guys. I mean, it's awesome to see guys go in and be prepared and to play well. And you complete 75% of your passes on 70 attempts, and you got 2 freshman tackles. That's pretty good. That's really good. So that was a definite bright spot. So to answer your question, after what I saw last week from those guys, absolutely. I'm very confident in what I've seen in practice every day, because they're not, true freshmen anymore. They've had some experience. They've practiced a lot. They've gone through camp. They had spring ball. So, they're doing what we thought they'd do.
Did you visit with Jake yesterday?
I did not visit with him yesterday. We just communicated via phone, but I did not sit down with him.
Any idea of what his availability is?
I don't.
If you
don't.
only have Pollard and Ingram next week, who do you have behind?
Oh, we got plenty of options. That's one thing we got is options in that offensive line. We've never been in a better spot in the offensive line as far as the versatility that we have. Hearn plays left tackle. Hearn can play right tackle. Maverick Morris can play right tackle. We've got a bunch of options there. Noah Green is another guy that's a freshman that's capable of going in there and playing, and he's going to be a good player for us. So we got plenty of options. John Simpson can jump in there and at guard and allow Hearn to move. So we've cross-trained those guys all year long. Y'all don't always see it on game day, but we do that all the time. Robbie does an excellent job with that in our practices and mixing it up.
With Pollard and Ingram being ready this year, last year Mitch Hyatt played the whole year as a true freshman. What do you think has been the key to getting these guys ready where they can go play a position like offensive tackle as a true freshman? Yeah, well, Robbie's a great coach, first of all. He does an excellent job in teaching those guys, and then it's recruiting the right kind of guys. You got to have it takes a tremendous amount of want to on that player's part to put in the work to prepare, to learn, to develop, to study.
I mean, because it's not an easy transition, especially in the offensive line. So, credit those guys for putting in the work. And I think also the fact that they came in here in the spring was huge. So same thing with Mitch came in the spring. Frew came in the spring. And then Pollard and Ankrum both came in the spring. So them getting that whole spring semester and a full summer and a fall camp, allowed them to get a little bit further along than maybe just a true freshman. But then you look at a guy like John Simpson, who didn't get here till this summer. Holy moly, he's going to be a great player, and he's really come on, And and again, sometimes y'all see certain things in games, but we see them every day, and just very encouraged. But he's had to put in a lot of work too. But it's everything. It's the physical development, the mental development, the want to, the drive, the passion to be a great player, to go along with having a great coach like Robbie.
As you mentioned, it's been 2 years since you've had to come off a regular season loss. What was the demeanor in the meeting room and on the practice field last night?
Not very happy. Just. That's why we call them. We don't really see them, but some of them will roll through here on Sunday. We're here all day on Sunday, so we kind of, we're a bunch of old goats around here. We wallow around in it all day on Sunday and fight through grading it and own it, understand what we got to do better as coaches and all that stuff. The players don't come in till Monday. That's their off day on Sunday. Some of them will roll through and you get a chance to talk to them, but they were very serious, dialed in, frustrated, mad, disappointed about all the emotions that you could that you usually have if something doesn't go your way. You work so hard for it, and it doesn't go your way. There's disappointment. These guys care. They're not just, oh well, heck, lost the game. Well, oh well. They care. They work really, really hard. And they're not used to losing. These guys, and I love that that we don't lose a whole bunch, and we're going to try to keep it that way. But we didn't deserve to win. I mean, we were in position to win, didn't win. We didn't deserve to win. They did. They deserved to win the game. They made the plays when they needed to, and they won it. And you tip your hat to them. So, but nothing's changed in that. If we were 10-0 right now, we're a great team. We're 9-1. We're still a great team. And regardless of what had happened, I will say this. If let's just take one play. I mean, there was a lot of plays, a lot of things. But if we gave up 4 touchdowns in the red zone, if you give up 3 touchdowns and 1 field goal, you win the game. We had 2 trips in the red zone that we got no points. If you just have one of those, you get a field goal, you win the game. If you get 1 yard, you win the game. There's all kind of things, but if you just get 1 yard and win the game, well, guess what? We won the game, but we still got problems we got to fix. And sometimes, again, when like I was saying the other day, prosperity is a terrible teacher. And what I mean by that is, sometimes you need a little pain along the way, and a little failure is part of getting better. And they would have shown up yesterday ready to go, just like they always have. But there was a sense of urgency yesterday that there was a hard edge to it. And I like that. So at the end of the day, it's about how you respond. I mean, whether you win a big game, how you going to respond the next week? You lose a game, how you going to respond the next week? That's just what life is about. That's what determines the outcome of anything, is how you respond. So how we respond this week is going to determine the outcome of Saturday night. We're either going to be 9-2 or 10-1. It's really not very simple game. It's not very complicated. So guys were disappointed, but they were eager and ready to get back to work and watch the tape and, challenge each other and go get it.
What was the diagnosis on the shovel option, and how does that get corrected?
Yeah, well, I thought Pitt did a great job, first of all. They did an excellent job with a lot of different presentations and how they did it. And we did not play with a lot of discipline. We didn't do a good job with our eyes. And at the end of the day, it falls back on us as coaches. And it's just that simple.
Coach, offensively, do you try to do things different this week to try to take the burden off Deshaun? I mean, he throws 70 passes, 3 interceptions, especially one in the red zone that really probably hurts you guys at the end of the game. Do you try to feature way more? I mean, what do you try to correct to take the pressure maybe off of him?
Well, it depends on what the defense does. You know, we just try to win, you know. I mean, we had 630 yards of offense, and I guess that's a bad thing. I didn't know does it really matter how you have 630 yards? Does it matter if you run it, throw it? Does that really matter? I don't think so. What matters is getting first downs, scoring points, being great on third down, and we were all those things. We were unbelievable on third down. We lead the conference. We're 50% on third down. We were 12 of 18 the other day. We went up and down the field. It was one of the best offensive performances I've ever been around outside of about 4 plays. And, you know, that was how they were committed to play defense. And, yeah, I mean, if we want to sit there and run into 8- and 9-man fronts, then everybody's going to be saying, why don't you throw the ball? You'll be asking me that question. Do we want to throw the ball a little bit more this week, take advantage of those one-on-one opportunities? Why do y'all continue to run the ball into 8- and 9-man fronts? So, you know, we're just trying to win games. And when you have 630 yards of offense, there's really not a lot to complain about other than we got to take care of the football. That's the bottom line. So, I mean, and that's not just Deshaun. Deshaun, you know, is a part of it, but it's everybody. You know, we got a tip ball. We got a busted play down there where we're not quite doing what we need to do to space the defense the way we need to, but we've got to make the right decision too. But there was a lot of good, and so it's every week. It depends how are they going to play us. If they're going to line up and play us like Pitt played us, guess what? We're going to do exactly what we did. And if people got a problem with that, well, then that's their problem. You know, we got 630 yards of offense. Yes, we need to take care of the football. There's no question about that. But if people are going to line up and they play differently toward us and allow us to have an opportunity to create more balance, that's certainly what we want. We definitely want that. But, you know, if you really know what you're looking at, we did exactly what we need to do to give ourselves a chance to win the game. We just did not play as well defensively as we've played, and we had turnovers. So we got beat.
With Scott Pagano being sidelined, how much does it help that you have a guy like Dexter Lawrence who's playing as well as he has as a true freshman?
Well, it's big to lose Scott. He's a great player. He's one of our main guys in there. He's had a good year. He's a big old physical, strong guy, brings a great presence to the inside, and so it's a big loss. But you know, it hurts our depth. I mean, yeah, it's great to have Dexter, but it's also nice to be able to have a great rotation with those guys. And then here's a veteran guy that's played a lot of football. You know, we're going to get him back. He'll be back at certainly for the bowl. He'll be back and ready to go, but it's going to be a big loss for us. You know, so the guy that's got to step up for us is Huggy. I mean, he's got to step up in a big way. Him and Jabril going back inside. Jabril's been back inside for several weeks now, but those two guys are going to have to play big for us this week and as we finish the season.
Has the smoke around Clemson affected him by the practice or the players' health or anything?
No. I mean, we were inside last night. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, you smell it. I hate it for everybody. I think they even canceled some of the rec stuff on campus yesterday, so I hate it for all the students that, you know, missing out on some rec opportunities. But that's crazy what's going on. We just hadn't had any rain, you know, and then the wind kicks up and starts pushing that smoke and pushing the fires and stuff. So, but we have not, and we're fortunate because we do have an indoor facility, so it won't impact us as far as being able to practice.
You said in preseason the ACC has gotten better. Has that borne itself out, would you say?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, it's like I told y'all last week about Pitt. I said they're a couple of plays away from being 8-1, and you know, because I've watched every game, and I know exactly what I'm talking about when I looked at. And this is a good football team. Schematically very difficult, physical, and they lose on the last play to North Carolina. You're right there at the end against Virginia Tech. I mean, they had some tough. They beat Penn State. So I knew that this was a team that if you don't play well, you're got a chance to get beat. And we've been very good on defense, very consistent all year. That's probably been our most consistent area, but we didn't play well defensively, and then we had again the turnovers, and we got beat. They played a heck of a ball game. They played a heck of a game, made a bunch of plays, executed at a high level, and they're a good team. They're a good team, and Wake Forest is the same. Yeah, absolutely. Every single week, it is not easy. It's just not. And, I'd love to just mow everybody over every week, but everybody's got good coaches and everybody's got good players and young people that care about their performance and practice hard. And, it's hard. It's hard. Definitely. It's a tough league, man. It's a tough league. That's why I appreciate winning. I appreciate winning. I don't care how you win. I appreciate winning because it's hard to do. It is hard to do, especially with the consistency that we've had around here. It is not easy.
Considering how the flow of the offense was going on those last two plays, running plays that were stopped, why didn't you call something with Deshaun to give him an option to run or pass? What did you see that kind of took the ball out of his hand?
We just went with our two calls that we had in that situation that we game planned all week, and it didn't work out. They were better than us in that play. I think we've been 100% in our heavy package all year, and now we're 99%. So we didn't get it done. Give them credit. They defeated us, and move on. But that's why, because we work all week, we game plan, and that's what we felt like we needed to do, and didn't work out. So bad coaching on us, because obviously we had a bad plan in that regard.
Coach, after a loss, you're still 1 or 2